Well, I always have to, preface this with the fact that we're naive. We're young, like people are young today, and although we quite readily took to demonstrating, and we all had to take reserve officer training, for instance, at the Catholic university I went to. We were all being trained as officers in the artillery that were immediately, of course, sent to Vietnam. And we'd have people in our group, in our activist group, that would, in the middle of these large parades we had every year, in the last couple of years I was there, people would fall like they were fainting, and they'd go out and rush in to open their jackets up, and they'd have "Peace Now" signs on their chest when they opened up. Meanwhile, the whole parade had come to a halt behind them. And we had done things like taken over the Franciscan Brothers Chapel when in order to protest the Franciscan Brothers being involved in having a university that trained military people. I was also involved with taking over our own administrative building. I was involved up in and again encouraging the abandonment of training military at that time. Also involved in demonstrations with the University of Buffalo, where again a 5 or 6 story building was taken over by students when they brought in a bunch of again larger activists, the Yippies and the SDS, anti-war activists, to speak to thousands of students about taking an active stance. There was always something that we could be involved in. I mean, it also shifted over into cultural issues, like bringing people like Allen Ginsberg, who was very much against the war, to our campus, and having a large event with various poets, Creeley, Ginsberg, and others, talking against the war in Vietnam. Of course, also going to the Democratic Convention in Chicago was a big deal, because there were many, many activists from across the United States there, from folk singers like Phil Oakes to writers, to Black Panthers, all of them speaking against the war. And in all those situations, it was a lot of young people. I mean, that's, again, we have to remember about the 60s, was this large, large group of young people that were proportionally out of weight or overweight. I mean, they were fighting above our class just because of the number of people we had that you could activate all over the United States. And I think that this really contributed to a notion that we would eventually get whatever we thought was the most important for us. This, of course, dissipated after years of failing to get ourselves out of the war in Vietnam. But when we were engaging in it full force, we really thought we would change everything with our sort of public actions.